Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Dreamin' with Drip and Drift.
Drip and Drift.
Today, our guest is Jake Panda, aka Jake Gaines. What's up, man?
What's up, bro?
I've been waiting to say that. Jakey
I
Gaines.
Someone follows my other page.
Yeah, man. Dude, it's funny because I don't necessarily look like a gym bro, but I do exercise almost every day, and I do follow, like, it's more for mental health for me, honestly.
Dude, people underestimate how good it is for you, just like mentally, not
Yeah.
just physically. Yeah.
Yeah.
It keeps me going, it keeps you motivated.
Yeah, awesome, man. So tell me, what's been up today?
Today, it's a long day.
Yeah.
Got up, loaded the car up for a V2 lab just to get it ready for the track. And, just had to get the car up there ready. I had to wash it, just the usual stuff you got to go through to get on the trailer.
Yeah. V2 lab is tomorrow, so.
Big meet.
Yeah.
Meet. It's got some history with me, so I had to show up.
Yeah. That's what's up. So getting into drifting, have you always been into cars, or how'd that come about?
How do I even answer this? Like, my dad had an MR2 growing up. It was always in the garage. It never ran, but I always wondered, like, what it could do. But it had pop-ups, and I loved the older cars. And, like, I always had, like, little cars and stuff. And I think eventually in high school I got into, like, Civics with the friends. And so I ran with Civics for a little bit. But it was always, like, that. There's always, like, two kids at school that had 240s. And I'd always see them drifting. And then eventually I got in, like, that in crowd with them. And then they took me to the compound. And then that led me to getting, like, a G35, which I traded for, like, a 350Z. And then traded that for an Accord so I could learn stick because no one would teach me stick. So I had to teach myself. So I got that Accord, then I traded that for, I sold that. Sold that, got the money, bought my 240 like 30 minutes later. Somehow I pulled that off. I don't know, but I drove home in an S13 and my mom hated it. But I loved it. And I've had the car ever since. And that was like 2013. So
Dang. So that 240, you got it in 2013, and it's been through some different variations, right?
So many.
Yeah.
So I think it's on version 7 now. I'm pretty sure it's version 7.
So started with an SR20, and how did it get to, currently it's a 1UZ?
Yeah.
How did it get to that?
Oh my God. So SR20 has been good for like ever, dude. And it took a good beating, and I daily drove it whenever I was like, I want to say when I was like 21 through 25, I daily drove it. And then when I was in Virginia, I drove the car to Virginia because I joined the military.
Sure.
And I always told myself, I was like, if the car makes it to Virginia, I'll keep it. I made it there, got to my sister's house, and it wouldn't start after that, but it made it, so I kept it. Eventually, I got into, there was a event that popped up called Spirit JP in Virginia. And that was a big thing because they taught people how to drift, and I was like, I want to get there, right? So it was a drift school. And that's basically where I started actually going to the track. Like, I started off with like the U-Haul trailer. Yeah. And my car was like a show car at the time. It had like an angle kit on it and everything, but I was like, I actually got to drift it,
Yeah.
So I went and took it to a track and then felt it out from there. And, from there it was, I'm here basically. Long story from that whole situation though, like the whole Spirit thing, how that all went down. That whole program shut down because of some controversial stuff that went down in Virginia. I don't know if you ever heard about it.
No, I didn't. I don't know.
A lot of people got schemed out of money, bro. Yeah, it was a whole, I can't even know what to talk about. It, bro. It's a little touchy subject.
True. Uh-oh. Dang. So the SR20 then went out.
I forgot that was the question.
No, it's all good.
Okay, so yeah, SR20. Used that in Virginia the whole time. Brought it down here. I went to Spring Break Bash like 2020 or 2021. I think that's when I met you. I don't remember. The car was great at the time. I brought it to a shop. It was in Palm Coast, and one of my injectors died. So I tried to find a replacement injector. So we couldn't because there were stock injectors with like removed pinto caps, I think they're called. But long story short, I threw 550s in there. Car was working fine. I'm like, okay, I'll just send it, right? Send it attitude. Brought it to the track that day. Went on the oval, and I was like, okay, I'm killing. I started breaking up. When it pulled off the track, and it's just gushing white smoke, and I was like, oh God, it's probably just a head gasket. But I'll shut it down from there, Dug into it further, got the whole head rebuilt, everything, put it back on, still the same problem. So we dug into it further. This is all over like a 5-month period. Yeah. So I'm not driving this entire time. Sure. The depression's slowly building up.
Yeah. I get
so
that.
we tore it down. Found out there was like a pinhole in like cylinder 2. Okay. And at that point, we had to weigh like, okay, should I get a new SR? Should I weigh the cost? Like, what would be like an engine swap? So I looked into like an LS, a new SR, and I was like, I'm pushing the V8 route. So we had to find like an affordable option. And then some friends were like, 1UZ is a pretty good option. So I was like, I mean, it seems affordable. The LS option, everybody always says like 10 grand to swap in, but realistically it like builds up. So Got the 1UZ, got a donor car for it, an LS400. It was mint, dude. This kid was like building like a resto mod LS400. It was so nice. So I knew it was going to be a good engine. Yeah. So I basically yanked the engine out of that thing. The chassis was so nice. I feel bad for doing it, honestly. And then that ended up in my car. And then from there, now I have my car.
Yeah. Sick. And has the 1UZ given any problems? I don't know too many people with that as a swap. So.
Oh, man. Like, it's more prominent, like, in different countries. Like, I ever seen like Night Ride on like YouTube?
Yeah, dude, they're one of the few people I've seen do it.
I watch their videos a lot, and if you type in like 1UZ 240 on YouTube, you'll see like that black like 240 on like the mountains just sliding, and I was like, okay, that's nice. So there's not a lot of backing on information, and that was the big hurdle, was like trying to find like resources, you know. Luckily we have like a wiring guy in Florida, LexusV8.com. Dude, he was legit when it came to the wiring, but man, like he's a genius, bro. He guided me through everything, wired it all up myself. Once he walked me through, his instructions were so in depth. But yeah, dude, it's a good engine. There's a couple of people that actually specialize in it on like YouTube. There's a good kid like Gingium, I think his name is, on YouTube. He's building like a 1UZ truck. If you watch like the LZ Tour, there's a couple like builds, and in their like paddock, bro, it's all like a couple of UZ builds, and it's like crazy because that to them is available. Over here we have like LSs. They don't have access to that. So that was cool.
True that. That's good. That's good to know, because eventually, not right now, but thinking about swaps, always thinking about what you could do, you know. It's nice to know that that is a cheap option that is readily reliable. Yeah, seems like.
I mean, to be transparent, like this LS400 I bought was $2,000, so it's like that's how much I got an engine for basically. Yeah, I made $400 off the chassis, so $1,600 engine basically.
True.
And it makes the same power as like a basically like an HR 350 or a HR, you know, that motor, whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's what I got. And what about the 370? How'd you get into that?
Oh my god, the 370 I bought in Virginia as like a daily driver. And in the back of my head, I was like, I'm going to drift this, like 2023. And I kept making jokes about it. I always put it on my Instagram. I'd be like, in my 2023 chassis. And I didn't think it was actually going to happen. But when the 240 was down, I could feel like I was losing a part of myself. I was like, I wasn't driving. It was bodybuilding was getting boring. I was looking for like an outlet. I didn't have it. So I was like, whatever. And that event, what was it? Holiday Matsuri at the firm. I was like, I'm having ready for this event. So I sold my backup C-Time car, which is a G35 I was building. Took all the money.
I do remember that. You lost a wheel with that, right? Yeah. I was like, that's all coming back to me.
Sorry, that car was a joke, bro. I never want another G35 again. I've had so many.
True.
Yeah, but...
I really want a four-door.
Dude, I think I do too again. I love those cars, honestly. I hate the coupes now because of that car. Yeah. But the four-doors, they're rubbing off on me. They look like...
As I've grown up, I've started to appreciate more four-doors. Dude. I've always been a coupe guy. Yeah. And now that I'm a little older, I'm like, I really am.
Yeah, there's like the JZX hype and all that going around too.
The GS as well.
Oh yeah, the GSs are so sick.
Yeah, man.
I love a nice GS.
Yeah. So the 370 just transformed for that event, basically.
And I was like, I want a C-Time car anyway. So I was like, why am I building this other C-Time car? I was like, I have the answer right here. So I just took the money, threw it at that. Yeah. And it was nice, I was learning a lot, install my own angle kits and everything. I had a shop do my 240s, but I did it all myself, and so that was pretty nice. And since then, it's been a unit, dude. The 370 can take a beating. Like, I don't know. That car kind of sets the bar. It's like going back to the 240 now, like I've only been driving it for the last few months since it's been up again. But like the 370, I hop in it, it's like you turn the AC on. Yeah. It's got everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like those cars are like, I can't even like, I don't know. I didn't think I was going to get attached to it, but now I'm like, dude, I need this thing. Like, it's just, I drive to work, drive it home, drive to the track, drive it back. Dude, it's so good.
It is real reliable, man. I can't deny those Z's, man. As much as I don't love the look of them, like.
Oh yeah, I know. They don't turn heads. Good cars. They don't turn heads at all. No, never. Because like I pull up in the 240 at a meet, dude, I get like crowded like it's in Fast and Furious or something. But they turn up in the Z, dude. It's like no one really bats an eye, but I know it's worth. So
with the 240 and the Z, both of them look pretty unique. As far as the Z, it's some livery.
I did that myself.
Some livery, but
some livery.
The 240 is wild looking. So what are your influences or inspiration behind building it, looking like so wild like?
Dude, the 240 is always like, it always draws a crowd. Yeah. And it's always done that for me. I've made so many friends just because of that car. So I always try to keep it different. So whenever I was sourcing parts for the past like year and a half, I always made sure it was something that was like different. So when I saw like a Urus kit go up for sale, scooped that up. And then I saw those AKR Produce fenders go for sale. And I was like, I gotta grab those too. Something different, because everybody's running like Origin Lab Race Line, Origin Lab Attack Line now. And I was like, I just gotta find something different, because I don't want to be like everybody else. That's always what I'm doing. So like, as far as inspo goes, honestly, like always like Animal Style is a huge thing. I love their cars, so I love when stuff looks wild. Who else? I can't even think of anybody right now. Like Daigo Saito's cars, bro. Sure. I love the way he does things. Even like Ken Block, dude. Those are like big inspos for me, those guys. I just love having like different cars that stand out. And they're all crazy drivers. You know what I mean?
For sure. But definitely like the look of their cars do stand out as well, like with their driving, which makes it even that much better, dude. Which, speaking of driving styles and stuff, you make posts about faint entry and not using handbrake, and it's so funny because like I learned how to drift without a handbrake, but now when I bought the Z, it came with one, so I've kind of lost it, and now going back, like relearning it, I can't get it every time, so like it's been a struggle for me. Like, don't grab the handbrake. Just try to flick it in this time. And, like, I'll have to get in my head not to use it now.
I think as long as you're conscious of when you're using it, it shouldn't be too big of an issue. Yeah. And so the reason I only do that because I know it's so controversial. Yeah. And I love when people fight about it. I don't know. I'm not trying to be negative, but I love when they just, like, bicker about it. It's all bicker, you know? We don't really mean anything negative.
For sure.
It was a huge thing, like, in Virginia, right? So whenever... if any of my friends listen to this, right, in Virginia at Spirit, it was always like the same way they give you like crap at like what's it called, Club Loose, the same way they did it at our Spirit meets, right? It was always like, don't touch your handbrake. Whenever they would talk to us, stop using your handbrake. Like, you need to learn without it. So it was like, so you like to train yourself not to grab it if it was even there. And a lot of my friends to this day will be like, I see him grabbing handbrake too much. And it's such a huge difference. There's different driving styles going from up north to down south. Up north, it's like not very handbrake heavy. You can tell the drivers how they drive. And you come down here and you see everybody just like, let off the gas. With the handbrake, and I'm like, what's going on, dude? What is this? You know what I mean? Whereas in like the driving style I adapted to was like, you know, you feint to a turn and then you use handbrake to correct and let off. You know what I mean? If you even do use it, which is how I do it. But if I do use handbrake, it's got to be like a tight turn or something. And I'm always trying to let off it. I'm always trying my best not to touch it. But sometimes you're just like, whatever, this is Gymkhana, and you start going crazy. You know what I mean? Use all your tools. It's fun.
For sure. And for me, it gets in my head a little bit more too, because I've been driving a lot more public days, and I know like if I use the handbrake, I'll have a perfect line, or not perfect, but a good line for me. And if I don't, that's when I say like, it's hit or miss sometimes with the feint entry. So like when I know there's a big crowd, I'm like, all right, I don't want to feint entry and then have that possibility, which happens. Like I still will do it. I'm like, I don't care what people think, just do it. And then it'll happen. And I'm like, I told you shouldn't have done it. But it's still...
No, it's learning I get what you mean. It's easy to play it safe and just be like, okay, I'll just handbrake this time, you know, because you know what's going to go there. But I mean, the same goal should be with your feint entries too, is like to know where you're putting your car. And even I'm still working on it, you know what I mean? Because I'll admit, like sometimes if I'm like, I don't think I can do this turn off, I'm not confident in the car setup right then, I'll just handbrake to make sure I'm at least getting into drift. It's better than just throwing the whole turn. I think that's what you got to get over is like, am I going to throw this turn? Or am I just going to do what I think is safe? You know, no risk, no reward. So there goes the handbrake entry, you know what I mean? And I get it. But I definitely, it's more about progression, you know what I mean? Just to keep yourself in check, try to let off as much as you can. You got the simulator too, you know what I mean? Practicing the simulator. I never bought a handbrake for my simulator, so it helped me a lot. I was like, I'll just have to learn without it, whatever.
That's good. It's not a bad, I'll unplug it here and there for sure.
I don't have it, so I'm just like, okay, whatever.
So you had little birthday bash at Mid Pond.
Oh yeah, that was sick.
That your first time up there?
Yeah, it was sick, dude.
Yeah, how was it? I haven't been.
Dude, it was so good. It's like
tight.
It was, dude. Yeah, very tight. It was mostly second gear, if not all second gear. But I mean, you're maxing out your second gear. And the Z, dude, it's like you're like just getting into it. Yeah. So it's so good. I can't even like explain it. That track is sick, dude. You can go all day there.
That's what's up, man. I look forward to going. That's one of the tracks after I get out of Florida, hit Georgia, hit Mid Pond.
Yeah,
those,
dude,
like,
and Ken is so cool. He's so cool about everything. They're super lenient there with everything, too. As long as you respect the track, it's pretty sick. I had friends from Virginia. We were talking about it all the time. Like, we got to go to Mid Pond. And then I had to convince my friends, Logan, he already hit Mid Pond, so it was easy to get him to go back again. But I had to get, like, Camel and them to, you know, leave their comfort zone, get out of state. And they did it, which is great because, they finally got out of state. And I was like, yes, he's going further. So that was sick, and I love that track too. I definitely want to go back again.
Sick. What other, so you said Virginia, here, OSW, The Firm, Mid-Pond, what other tracks?
Langley in Virginia is a big thing too.
Langley.
Once that Richmond Raceway track got shut down, basically, Langley became like the go-to. It's basically like an oval track with like these different levels of asphalt in the middle. So it's basically if they would make this oval track more open, if they got rid of all the grass at OSW, it'd be like that. But a little more less aggressive on the tires. Because OSW tears up your tires. That oval is aggressive.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I hear people with 2 laps, basically, like FD drivers, when it's not even an FD car.
Exactly.
It's like, that's gnarly.
Yeah, it's not even worth going sometimes, you know what I mean? And that's all they used to have before, so that's all people were used to.
True, yeah.
But other than that, like, there was Langley in Virginia. I did Piedmont once in North Carolina.
Okay.
What else? That might be it. I think you named everything.
What's your favorite so far that you've been to?
Hyperfest, Patriot Course.
Where's
Patriot
that?
Course. That's in Virginia.
Okay.
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
Patriot Course, they only open it up for drifting during Hyperfest. It's so good, dude.
True.
4th gear. Like, nice.
Yeah. Dang.
It's crazy.
Is that like 90 mile an hour?
Yeah, the one in the back, dude. It's crazy. I touched 4th, but I'm not hauling out because it's scary. You go into a blind turn.
Okay.
It's really scary, but it's sick. It's so good. If it scares you, it's good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird place to level up. If you can hit that track, I think you can hit like any track, basically.
True.
And there's a bunch of elevation changes, downhill, uphill.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn at that track, and it's really scary too.
Did that already pass this year?
No, it's coming up in, I think, May.
Oh, okay.
This year, but next year. It's coming up in a few months. I think we're 6 months ago, so another 6 months they'll have it.
All right. Word.
That's everything.
True that. It's good to plan. Good plan.
Yeah, if you want to leave state, definitely think about that. I'm going to go this next year again, dude.
True that. Yeah, then we'll talk. I'll try to make a plan for that next year because this year was about OSW hitting Sebring, and I still am, hopefully, if everything planned right, I'm trying to hit Showtime in December and just spread out a little more in Florida. And then next year, hopefully have my own trailer and go a little bit out of state. So
for sure. I mean, it's hard too because you're like in the central of Florida, so I'm in Jacksonville, so like 2 hours, I can go to like a Georgia track. You know what I mean? So it's like I've been thinking about moving up more this upcoming year.
True. Going even further back to Virginia, or not even that far?
Virginia's like I think 9 hours from where I'm at now, so it's a little bit out of the way. I would like to go to Tandem Nights. That's an event that they have at this track. I think it's called SMS.
Okay.
A couple of my friends who we used to drive together at Spirit, like they are running that event now called it's by Tandem Factory.
Okay.
They run Tandem Nights now, and dude, it's a huge event up there. And I missed it this year. This past month, and I felt really bad because some of my friends that hosted that came to my Mid-Pond event.
True.
And I just couldn't get the time off, so.
Dude, it happens. Even today, a lot of people, I was at US Drift Circuit today, V2 Labs tomorrow, and a lot of people I were talking to today are like, dude, I came today, I can't make it tomorrow. And I was like, I get it. Like, you got to pick and choose
the
events you want to go to.
It gets pricey, too. All the driving. The driving gets pricey, too.
For sure. So tell me a little bit about the story of Hagen Racing and how he got
that was a cool opportunity.
Was that at Hyperfest as well?
That was Hyperfest.
Okay. So what happened there?
So basically, I was on track and my car shut down on the track, and I was like, damn, this would happen when I'm like 9 hours from home. I'm like, I thought I shook it down enough at OSW, but Z's 370s have a really shitty gas tank like hanger, or fuel pump hanger, right? It's made of plastic, and it broke off in the tank, so it was dangling. So I had to replace it, or not. I made like a ghetto fix. Like I drilled like a self tapper into it to like hold the two hangers up. If you have a 370, they know what I'm talking about. And I needed tools and stuff, so I had a friend, Jacob Nakoan, and he knew Hagen already because they play on Assetto all the time. So he met him in real life because he's like one of his big inspirations. He put in one of his videos or something, I think, before. Yeah. And Hagen was there with Forrest Wang. And Forrest Wang I'm a huge fan of. Always been. He took me for a ride in his S15 once, and that was awesome.
Sick.
Yeah, that was at Shenandoah in Virginia.
True.
And I've always loved him for that. So basically, he was like, oh, yeah, use our tools. So I got Forrest Wang giving me like RTV to fix it and like screws and stuff. I'm like, sick. And then Hagen's there too. And he's like, you're killing it in this thing, man. He's like, these things good on track. I never really had someone build one. He's like, I'm trying to get into it. Yeah. He's like, I got a person trying to trade their my Skyline. He has a four-door Skyline, I think. And he's like, I'm trying to trade it for a 370. So he wanted to know what it was like inside. And I was like, yeah, just come for a ride along. And I was like, there's no way I'm really taking the dude. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Because I've always watched him on YouTube. I think I was going to meet him that day. I didn't even know he was going to be there. So he just hopped in the passenger seat, went for a ride. He loved it. And then I was going to let him drive my car, but then something bad happened again, and I couldn't figure out how to get the car out of limp mode. Turns out it was just because my bumper flew off, and this like third brake light wire was like grounding itself out, and it puts the car in limp mode every time I turn the headlights on. So I was like, if I just cut them off, it would have been fine. I know now. It's a safety feature. It's stupid, but it also keeps something from shorting out and causing like a fire or something.
Yeah, so. You don't want to happen on track.
But can you believe that? A stupid wire kept me from driving that entire Sunday.
Yeah, dang. That happens, right? Dude. Yeah,
I felt bad. He kept hitting me up. He's like, "Hey, is the car good?" I'm like, "No, dude, I can't. I'm so sorry. I hope he doesn't think I'm bullshitting." I'm like, "I can't do anything. I'm not even driving."
Yeah.
So all Sunday, I just spent the day spectating.
Yeah, dang. It happens though. Yeah. We break things, fix it. Break it, fix it.
Yeah,
break it,
that's how it goes, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to go there again, though. Hyperfest, dude, you'd love it. You definitely got to bring like a pit bike or something to get around. It's huge, dude. Yeah.
True that.
That is like Forza Horizon in real life without the music. I mean, they have music, but it's not like that music.
Yeah. Sick, dude. So in drifting and driving and all of this, content creating, what are your plans? What are your dreams? Where do you see all this going in the next 5 years, 10 years?
5-10 years.
Whatever.
Let's see. Okay, so right now I'm still in the military, right?
Yeah.
I get out in 6 months or 5 months from now. So I need to finish that chapter of my life up to free up more time, because I definitely want to get more involved in motorsports. And as much as I love, what I do, it's like I need to break free so I can make my own schedule and stuff like that. So get away from that, find my own work, if not make my own work, and then base it around motorsports, basically. That's what I want to do. So I can, I don't know, I want to start my own business, really. That's the honest truth. Like, I want to start my own business so I can support my own hobbies, if it's not just drifting, I want to do other stuff too, more adrenaline filled stuff, I feel that for sure, man. Yeah, dude, as much as like I've made Drip and Drift now like my existence, it's not everything of me, Nick, it's like a part, but like that is what a lot of people see now. So it is a balance. I know, we all
still
got
doing
what
you, and still doing other things you enjoy, and like people you enjoy seeing as well, just not only car people.
Exactly, dude. And we spend so much money just going to these drift events and stuff. It's like we need to find time to do other things, other fun stuff. That's why every now and then I make time to go to like a festival or something, just to like, veer off from it. Because, if you make it your whole, I guess people make it their whole lives just to do drifting stuff, but it's like it's good just to venture out away from it for now and then. Give yourself a break, not just mentally, financially. Yeah. Cars are stressed, dude. That's the truth. Cars cause me so much stress. That's it. I have like nightmares about it. I think after I wrecked my 240 again when the hood came up, I woke up like, just sweating. That's how much cars stress me out. Yeah. I can't lose sleep over it.
Do you like more the style aspect, or would you think of getting into competition, or what do you think? More just fun, swag.
I think when I was younger, I always was like, I want to compete. But I also never left Florida. It's like, you got to leave the state, I think, and really experience more drifting before you think you want to just compete. That's my opinion. Yeah. Like, there's so much other stuff to learn to progress as a driver instead of just going to like a second gear track and being like, oh, I'm the best. You know what I mean? Like, push it further. Try a road course. Give yourself an obstacle where you can be punished. And if that makes sense, like if you go off track, you crash your car.
That risk, like you said.
Yeah, you got to like kind of limit yourself instead of just being like in an open area where like I can just do whatever I want.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of what they did to us when we were at Spirit. It was like they put a tire wall, right? It was like, and if you hit it, you can wreck really bad. A lot of people did. Yeah. And you had to come in third gear, and a lot of people came off from our practice course, and it was hard to learn, but as soon as you learned that feint, you felt like you were like God tier. It was great,
True.
And just that one turn they taught us made everybody progress into better drivers, and so many people I've seen like come from there and just become such good drivers. People are hosting their own events and stuff. Yeah. And it's funny because we all came from that one little school group, you know what I mean? So
that's sick.
Not to veer away from the question, but I mean, I don't know if I'd really compete unless I could like financially support myself. Yeah. But I definitely want to like try more events. I want to try Grid Life, other 3-day events, 2-day events, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
just
sure.
To kind of I'm trying to have fun, Yeah. Competition to me seems kind of like a lot to risk, a lot more stress. Some people have fun in it. Yeah. I know I'd be stressed. Yeah. I'd be stressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't even know if I would ever necessarily want to go like full pro, but I do like those small comps that people are hitting.
Oh yeah, those are great.
Like, the 50K, whatever. What was that called? Grendel was telling me about it. And like the US drift circuit, like those smaller stuff, not necessarily trying to hit it big, but I am a little bit competitive inside. Yeah. So like I do like that pushing each other aspect of it. But I feel like having fun days and being with the boys, pushing each other could give you that same like feeling of and pushing yourself. And
that's really what I veer towards is like I just want to hit up the homies, schedule a day, and everybody just goes out and pushes themselves. You know, and the comps would be fun though. You know, it's something to look towards
for sure. Sick, man. Well, anything you want to add? Anything you want to ask before we close it out?
Man, I don't know. Get out of state, drive different tracks. You know, keep progressing. Try to have fun the best you can. Don't stress yourself out too much, and keep your finances in check.
True.
That's a good thing. I think people don't even think about that too much. It's like, how am I going to keep my finances in check? You know, like I think I prioritize like getting a house and stuff too as well in the past 2 years. So it was like that was a big hurdle for me. It was like make sure I get a house before the economy goes to shit, which it did. Yeah. And that was a big thing for me. Was make sure I get a house and then build up from there. So I'm not hobbies and life balance, right? Yeah. Kind of the same way you have like work-life balance. Make sure you're balancing everything. Don't throw yourself completely in the hole over the sport. It's great, but it's not worth eating ramen every day over. You know what I mean? Take care of your girlfriends. Take them on a date. I need to do that. You know what I mean?
I feel that. Yep.
I'm sure we all can feel it. You're all yelling at us every day. Are we going to the track again? You know what I mean? Another event?
Yep.
Why don't we schedule things the way like we do for track days? You know what I mean?
Yep. So you knew this when you started dating me.
I know. That's all I really got, man. Anything else for me?
Sick, dude. Well, I appreciate you coming by, man.
Of course.
V2 Lab tomorrow. Should be fun.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be cool. Hopefully I see you out there.
Yeah, man. Hopefully. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'll be out there. So thanks for stopping by. Make sure you like, subscribe, give a comment if you can. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.